Paul in San Antonio, Texas. See more better with freeprescriptionlenses.com. And today I'm going to go past that 10-minute limit they tell you about on YouTube. Don't make your videos longer than 10 minutes. But follow me on this 15-20 minute voyage as I cut prescription lenses with anti-glare coating for your Versace. Let me take everything out of the original box. Oop, that's just jumping out at me. Your card of authenticity, your international warranty card that comes with it. But the star of the show, the main attraction, let me put that in there. Clean up some of this stuff here. Make room. Look at me. I'm just excited to get going. Your Italian leather Versace case. Of course, the frame, but your Versace cleaning cloth here that comes with it. Let me put all that back in there. And the star of the show, the main attraction. Of course, it comes with a little plastic sleeve on the left temple to protect the temples from rubbing together while it is being shipped from Italy. And of course, I'm going to include that in there when I ship to you. And this is the Versace 1184, color 1261 in the 53 eye size. This is a semi-rimless frame, meaning that there's only half a rim at the top and nothing at the bottom. And I'm going to show you how I cut lenses for it now. Before I pop out your original lenses, one of which says Versace, I'm going to put 2 dots on your lenses with my pen. Let me put 2 dots right there. One there and one there. See, kids, see how I'm doing that, putting 2 dots, but that tells me it's on a straight line. Once that is done, I can take this lens out and I get my tracing element for a semi-rimless that is this tool. I'm going to peel the sticker off, toss that in the trash, take this lens, and I'm going to put, there's a little straight line on here. The reason why I put those 2 dots, it tells me that it's oriented in there just perfectly. And as fate would have it, it is not needed for one of your lenses, but it is for the other, so that's why I'm doing it. Make sure everything's lined up perfectly. Yep, we're good to go. I'm going to press that on there. I'm going to place this into the tracing element of my edger. And I'm going to hit right lens only and start. A little stylus is going to pop up and it's going to go around and trace the outside of the right side of the lens here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed in quality. You buy a genuine, authentic Versace frame and you'll receive 1 free pair of clear single vision prescription lenses or non-prescription fashion lenses. My receipt has my federal ID tax number, so if you have vision insurance or flex dollars, you will get reimbursed for this purchase, whether they are prescription or not. Paul, you know you need prescription, and you actually upgraded to the anti-glare coating. I'm just putting that tool away. It's asking for the bridge size, which is 18. Check. And that is the shape we'll be cutting. Let me magnify it while we work on it. That green outline is your lens. And let's see, it's asking for some information starting with the pupillary distance. Yours is 32 in each eye. The computer starts at 32.5, so I don't have to go hit far. I hit the minus button 1 time because it goes down in 0.5 millimeter increments. Now the optical center height, the vertical height is at 16. Let me raise that up to 18 because you look through the top portion of the lens. So I can come down here and get your lenses prepped. Your right eye is a minus 275 sphere, minus 275. Take the lens out of the protective sleeve, put it into my Marco 101 lensometer. Check the power of 275, find the optical center of the lens. And with this one, I only need to put 1 dot on the lens, which I will. I'll focus on that center dot, even though a couple of them are on there. This is the right lens. Let's do the same thing now for the left, which is minus 250, minus 50 at 114, minus 250, minus 50 at 114. Take the lens out of the protective sleeve, rotate until the spherical, actually I got to put it on the right power, minus 250, that makes a difference. Now we can find the spherical component of your lens, find the optical center, check your astigmatism correction, of which I'll explain later, and then I'm going to put 3 dots on your lenses. This one does require all 3 dots. And let me put an L on here, which stands for not right. Now if you missed any of that, let me recap. Hey, free bad jokes with every pair of glasses made. So this is the right lens. Let me go ahead and put it onto the platform. I need to get 2 blocks to start cutting your lenses. Look. Before and after pictures, that's what they are. So I need to put 2 double-sided adhesive stickers on here. This is a block known as Jenny from the block. I need to attach this to your lens while it is cutting so it'll stay in the lathe. So I've got 2 double-sided adhesive stickers. The black side is the sticky side. I'm going to stick that onto the first one, stick this onto the second one, pull the paper away to make the black side sticky. Now on the back is a silver button that's going to do its job twice today. That is a magnet. It's going to attach itself to something magnetical there in the arm. We can go ahead and do that. And the pupillary distance, the optical center has been entered. I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to take a quick glance to see how large the lens is. We got plenty of room. And I'm going to hit this button, which is going to bring the arm down and place the block onto the right lens. I'm going to do the same thing now for the left lens. Put that up on the platform, pull the paper away to make the black side sticky, line up the magnet. Your pupillary distance is mirrored from the right, which was at 32. Fortunately, that's what yours is, so I don't have to do anything. I don't have to change the optical center height. The reason why I put those 3 black dots on there, it tells me that the lens is oriented in there just perfectly. So the blue cross is the geometric center of your frame. If you were to measure vertically and horizontally, that's where the blue cross would be. Your eye is just above that and inset. So I'm going to get everything lined up. Put the dot in the center, your optical center, make sure those 2 are lined up perfectly, and they are. And hit the button. The arm's going to come down and place the block onto the left lens. Oh, it did not stick. Let's try this again. As a strong magnet. Let's pull the shape back up. Let's come over to the left lens and redo all of this. There we go. And for the fun of it, let's go ahead and do the right, because the machine likes to do everything in pairs. Okay, so this is the edger. This is what weighs. It costs $40,000. It weighs 200 pounds. I always recommend everyone go out and buy their own, because at the end of this video, you'll be able to cut your own lenses, and you won't need this guy anymore to do it for you. The actual cutting wheel is over here on the far right. It's going to act like a heavy grit sandpaper to grind away your lens material. This wheel in the center is going to flatten everything out. There's a cutting wheel on this lever that's going to come and cut a groove onto your lens. So let's go ahead and begin everything. I'm going to pull the shape up onto the computer. I'm not going to polish the edge of your lenses. I am going to, in this instance, put a safety bevel on the front convex surface of the lens. And then I'm going to put a slightly heavier safety bevel on the rear concave surface of the lens. I'm going to go ahead and take your right lens, put it in, hit the green arrow. So fortunately the magnet did its job a second time. It's holding the lens into place. The clamp shuts. And then the lens is going to be traced by 2 white styluses, making sure the lens is large enough to fit into the frame. And you can see as it's going around tracing the shape of the lens. But the old carpenter saying measure twice, cut once is measuring the thickness of the lens at every point to know exactly and precisely where to place the bevel so you have the least amount of edge thickness showing. I just want to check one thing here. The computer's trying to tell me something. We're good to go. We are good to go. So the cutting wheel starts up. I'll check one thing, polycarbonate, this, that, the other, we're good to go. So if you see light flickering in the background, that is water to catch the optical sawdust as it comes off the cutting wheel. Polycarbonate lenses cut dry, where plastic, high-index plastic, and Trivex cut wet. Now for the last 20 seconds of the cutting cycle, water will spray onto the lens to wash away any optical debris that you see beginning to form on the lens. Now your lenses are made out of polycarbonate. Polycarb is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. It is virtually unbreakable. These are very high impact lenses, and they also have both UVA and UVB protection built into the lens. We know what the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can do to your skin, where your eyes are 8 times more sensitive than your skin. So you have permanent sunscreen for your eyes, unlike the lotions, creams, and sprays that need to be reapplied every couple hours when you're in direct exposure to the sun. This is permanent and never needs to be reapplied. Now the other nice thing about your lenses, they are polycarbonate, but they're also aspheric. Aspheric simply means not spherical. I have a spherical lens here, which is round in every direction and gives you an ugly cosmetic fishbowl appearance when you look through it. So not only are your lenses thinner and lighter, but the front curvature is much flatter. So it's going to give you a wider field of view and designed to go in today's flatter curvature frames. So when you buy glasses online, people charge you for prescription, which is no bueno. I think you in San Antonio what that means. And then if you want to upgrade to the thinner and lighter weight polycarbonate lenses, they charge you another fee for that, which is double no bueno. And then if you want the aspheric flatter curvature lenses, they charge you another fee for that, which is no bueno, triple no bueno. So that's what you get for free simply by buying the lenses from me. Now, you have, by buying the frame, free prescription lenses with the purchase of any frame. Now, you also have the anti-glare coating. Anti-glare is 3 features in one. I shouldn't have put this away. It eliminates glare when driving at night, particularly driving at night in the rain, but from street lights, stoplights, computer screens, overhead, fluorescent lights, and the such. It also goes by the initials ARC, meaning anti-reflective coating. It reduces reflections off your lens, so when someone's looking at you, they're not looking at their reflection in your lens. It makes for much better eye contact. Plus, if someone takes a picture of you with a flash, or if you take a selfie, you won't see the flash lit up in the lens. You'll see just your eyes. Now, the third feature that I like, which is the practical side, it comes with the industry's hardest scratch protection, because the machine that applies the 8 layers of coatings that consists of your anti-glare coating takes over 24 hours to vaporize 7 different coatings onto your lens. So because of the time and the expense, they put the industry's hardest scratch coating on there. Now, your lens is on a grooving wheel, which is cutting a bevel onto your lens. Your lens, in order to hold this string inside, needs to have a groove cut into it, the groove that my thumbnail is going into. So that is what's cutting the groove onto your lens. That it's not flat anymore. You can see some of that schwarf, which is optical sawdust, on the edge of your lens now. Of course, once water sprays onto the lens, hopefully that'll get washed off. If not, I've got the old trusty thumbnail that will do it. So, as I mentioned, I've been reading a lot more. I just finished this book this morning, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. The first 55 to 60 pages were a little tough. After that, the next 160 pages went by quickly. And as always, I carry a highlighter in my pocket and highlight the things that are most important to me. Let's see, what's a good one to read? What's a good one to read? They're all good. Did you learn something of value from your mistakes? Just like Conor McGregor, the MMA fighter, says, I don't lose, I learn. So water has sprayed onto the lens, which tells me it's the last parts of the cutting cycle. So I just finished this one, partially because it was on a list of books to read that someone recommended to me. It is a very old book, but still reads very well nonetheless. And other books I've read, the author has said this is one of the top 2 books they have ever read in their life. It's a pretty quick read. You can go through it. After that, I've moved on to Tony Robbins, because he makes such great speeches on YouTube and the TED Talks. So I got one of his books, his most recent one. And of course, the first thing he says is about giving back. Here's a good optical illusion how our brain tricks us. Which table is the longest? I too thought it was the one on the left. They're actually the same length. You don't believe me? Let me take the PD stick out of my pocket. It is 53 millimeters that way, 53 millimeters that way. And using our brain, which we're pretty good at detecting vision because we've been doing it our whole lives. You know, do we trust ourselves for financial decisions? I trusted myself to tell me which was the longest table, and I was wrong. They're both the same length. So it's training me to learn. Oop, it didn't all come off. I get to use my thumbnail again. So I'm going to use my thumbnail, run all the way around to get all the optical debris off the lens. You like that? Now, I used to collect it all off the lens, make sure it was all off. And once it was on the table, my countertop, my work surface, once it was all on the table, I would collect it neatly and then wipe it onto the floor. But now, thanks to my wife, now that I have my new lab, she has asked me to keep it cleaner. So I've collected it, and now I'm going to drop it in the trash. There you go, honey. Doing as you wish. She has been my angel, my rock. It's the little things that I can give back to her when she has done so much in my life to keep me on the path of the straight and narrow. Mostly providing inspiration in times of trouble. I had 5 members of my family in the ER room last week, 2 of them requiring emergency surgery. After a young person texting crossed the center lane and hit them head on. They were here for my mother's birthday, which is right 2 days after Christmas. And what a way to spend her birthday was to spend it in the hospital. One of them still there after 9 days and hopefully gets transferred to a physical therapist place today. Now, in order to get the lens in there, I have to use this tool, and it's simply a plastic strap like for wrapping presents, but I fold it in half. So just like a ribbon for wrapping presents. I start at the outside edge, run my way towards the nasal part of the lens. When you hear that snap, it is in there. I use this finger because I'm holding on to the other to put on the string, and then I slide that right out. Once that's done, I can flip that over to L, press that down, and we can start cutting the left lens. Just like before, the door closes, the clamp shuts, and then the lens is going to be traced by the 2 white styluses, again making sure the lens is large enough to fit into the frame. And you can see as it's going around tracing the shape of the lens now. And the old carpenter saying measure the thickness of the lens to know exactly and precisely where to place the bevel. So it's halfway through the lens, so you have the best cosmetic look possible in this frame, which you don't have a very strong prescription, so it's a piece of cake. Let me hit the start again. So now this is done. Let me go down here and read the prescription of your lens. I need to take this block off, pull that off, drop that there, put this sticker on top as I continue to make my wonderful piece of artwork from used stickers. I'm going to come down and read the prescription right off of that black dot. Of course, it would be nice to have your prescription here. And I am getting, let's see what I'm getting, minus 275, 1 tick mark away from 3. Now the unit of measurement we use in the optical world is called a diopter, spelled D-I-O-P-T-E-R, starting at 0 and going up in quarter increments from there. So you're on the 11th rung of a ladder. You need 11 steps of far-sighted correction. You are nearsighted with your glasses off. Everything is much too large. That's why there's a minus sign. Your lens is minify down to the correct size. Now once it's the correct size, we have to see if we need to correct for any astigmatism correction. That is the SIL, which is short for cylinder. There is a stigma over the word astigmatism. It just means shape. It's like saying someone has straight hair, someone else has curly hair. That is it. It is not a disease. It is not an affliction. So once everything is the correct, you have no astigmatism in your right eye, but you do in your left. Once we have everything the correct size, now for your left eye, you only need 12 steps of far-sighted correction. But you need 2 steps of astigmatic or astigmatism correction. Astigmatism is what makes 6s and 8s look alike, or the letters P and F. It is the fine-tune knob. Once everything is the correct size, we have to fine-tune that image. So you need 2 steps of astigmatism correction, which again is the fine-tune knob, and we're going to turn that fine-tune knob to 114. If a straight line is 0 to 90 to 180, we're going to turn that knob just past the 90th meridian to about 114. Now this last measurement is totally arbitrary number. It can be anywhere from 0 to 180. These first 2 numbers are real values to be concerned with, and it tells me about the values of your lens, the powers. For your left eye, you have a power reading minus 250. So you have a curve this way, which is 250, and you have a second curve, your astigmatic curve, which is slightly steeper. And that's how we line up those 2 curves to make everything nice and crisp. Now let's come back down here, see where your lens is cutting. It's almost at the final size. In fact, I do believe it is. Now the entire check and balance system, not just with our government, but with the machinery running, it's again checking the thickness of the lens at every point that it first calibrated to know exactly where to place the bevel. The groove. If your lens is completely flat, just like a nickel, if I were to take it out now, it could stand up on the counter on its own. So it's now going to smooth everything that's left over from the cutting process. Going to smooth out that entire flat surface, making it perfect. There's no other word for it. So, for any of you out there who has found a book that has inspired you to change your life for the better, now I know the Bible is a very good one. I have that in many rooms of my house. That is a no-brainer. But for any book that is not the Bible, that has made a difference in your life, leave a comment in the comment section below so I can get to it, and even tell me what was the best part, the lessons learned from that book. So not only could it help me, it could help others on their journey on this planet. As it was once explained to me, we are simply ghosts. We are ghosts inside of a meat-covered skeleton hurtling through outer space on a rock. What's there to be scared of? So just live life to the fullest, become the best person that we can, which has inspired me to have a program called, oops, got to get that off, 2 for 1. Every time someone buys 2 pairs of glasses from me, I will donate 1 pair to someone in the school system here in my town. And part of it is the reward is that if you give, even at the times when you think you have very little, you teach your brain that there is more than enough. You can leave scarcity behind and move toward a world of abundance. So no matter how tough you think your circumstances are in life, there's always someone worse off than you. And by giving a little, not only do you help that person, but you really, I find that I help myself more when I give to others. So anytime someone buys 2 pairs of glasses, I will ask them if there's someone who needs to be donated in their town. I know more than enough people here. The rescue mission just happened to call me today out of the blue. And of course, I don't do eye exams, but I told them, you get the exam and I'll make you a pair of glasses. I've got a stockpile of people who've gotten 2 pairs of glasses from me. And for example, the first person today was a kid who can barely see past his fingertips. In fact, he can't even see past his elbow with it bent like that. But I made him a pair of glasses. But there was a woman who said, could I donate someone a pair to a woman at the shelter for battered women? I said, of course I will. Someone else who works with the Red Cross mentioned there's people who have to leave their houses due to fire or flood. They can't remember to take everything with them, especially when they wake up in the middle of the night. Could I donate someone who was the victim of an emergency like that, or a catastrophe, to the Red Cross? I said, sure I would. Someone asked, who loves pets, could I donate a pair of glasses to someone who works at the animal shelter? And I said, of course I will. This is installment 1 of my 250 million installment of making a pair of glasses for everyone in the United States. Actually, this is installment 2 or 3. But stay tuned as I make a pair of glasses for everyone in America. And then once I do that, we're going to see what I can do for people outside of America. And again, to clean the lens off, I'm going to run my thumbnail around. To remove all the optical debris, also known as schwarf. As in, can I use schwarf in a sentence? That's spelled S-C-H-A-R-W-F. Is that correct? Sure, you like me to use it in a sentence? May the schwarf be with you. Except it won't, because I'm cleaning it all off and throwing it in the trash. There you go, honey. If you watch this video, you see I did what I told you. It's not always I do that, but this time I did. So let me take out the original lens, one of which says Versace. And of course, you're going to receive all the original merchandise that they send out. And let me pop this in. What you do is, within that groove, I line it up. There's actually a similar string in the top of this frame that goes into this groove in the top of the lens. So I line that up. Sorry if I didn't explain that the first time around. And then it kind of pops into place. You kind of feel it. And then I take this ribbon, this little piece of plastic folded in half. I start at the outside corner, and folded in half, I use it to grip and slide towards the nose. And when you hear the snap, it is inside that groove. I put my finger on there, slide that out. Take the deblocking tool, take that off, throw the block away. Continue with my artwork. Continue with becoming a better person. I've only got one chance in life. I've got to make the most of it. So, the axis wheel is still at 114, the fine tune knob 114. I'm going to put it in just above that black dot, which is your pupillary distance. And I'm going to check the power of the lens, and I'm getting minus 250, exactly halfway between 2 and 3. Minus 250. Now you have 2 steps of astigmatism correction, and I want to read and verify that. And we're at minus 3. Why are we at 3? Because remember high school algebra, you add 2 like terms together? Don't worry, I've forgotten it too. But let's use today's terms. You let someone borrow $2.50 and then they borrowed another 50 cents, they would owe you $3. That's where we're at, $3 in the red. So your pupillary distance is 32 in each eye, which is a combined 64. Let me turn this card over. And when I hold the lenses up, my PD stick to your lens against my thumb on your right lens, and then check it on the left. I'm getting 64 millimeters, so that is cut perfectly. I want to check the vertical height of the lens, also known as the OC. I'm getting 18, so that's cut perfectly. Now this is the portion in every video that as I clean your lens, I mentioned that when you receive these in the mail, and of course free shipping anywhere in the US, but when you receive these in the mail, there is a small chance that these could fit too loose or too tight. And did I mention free shipping anywhere in the US? But if they are too loose or too tight, again, small chance. However, there's an 80% chance that one side is going to sit higher than the other. That is because 80% of people, I want to adjust this nose pad real quick. I see they need to be aligned and get those standard and perfect and at the same depth, so the same distance from the lens. Just getting the frame what's known as standard alignment, also known as a 3-point stance. But because as I cut myself off, there is an 80% chance that one side is going to sit higher than the other. That's because 80% of people have one ear that is higher than the other. And because of that statistic, 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments. So just stop by your local shop and ask them to adjust it for you if it's too loose or too tight, if it's crooked. Only takes about 30 seconds to a minute to adjust a pair of glasses perfectly. But I'm going to get them in standard alignment, also known as a 3-point stance. The 3 points are 1, 2, and the bottom of the lenses being 3. And of course I already went ahead and got your nose pads in standard alignment. But I put them on the counter and press down. There is no wobble. Now when I say wobble, I'm part of that 80%. When I take mine off and press down, they wobble on the counter, but they sit level on me. Let me flip these over, press down. There is no wobble. I close each temple to make sure they overlap perfectly, and they do, and neither one is askew like that. Check the tension on each spring hinge, and that's good. So Paul in San Antonio, Texas, I hope you enjoyed watching as I cut prescription lenses with an anti-glare coating for your Versace 1184, color 1263 in the 53 eye size. Excuse me, color 1261. In fact, if you don't believe me, color 1261 in the 53 eye size. Now, of course, I field test every cleaning cloth to make sure that it works. So when you get these in the mail and there's a wrinkle in there, you know it works. You can't say you can't clean your lenses because, well, I have to put my palm on there. You can. You're going to keep them that clean, right? But I also include instructions not only on how to care for your frame and lenses, but how to care for your cleaning cloth from Versace and the one that I'm providing, so they too may last you for years, and the case. But that's that. If anyone has any questions, you can email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com or simply click the contact me button on the website, or better yet, leave a comment. I'm pointing at the comment section down below the description, because someone else can read your comment or question and it spring an idea that they did not have. So again, you'd be benefiting someone else from leaving the question on the YouTube video. If you like what you've seen, hit the subscribe button and you can see more videos. Of course, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook as Free Prescription Lenses, and on Twitter as Free RX Lenses, because my username is too long for Twitter. And that's it. Paul, I just want to thank you. You could have bought your glasses from any giant corporate optical shop out there, but you chose to get them from an independent businessman like myself. And that really does touch me. Of course, you did it for the free lenses. It doesn't matter why you did it. You still came to me. Our paths crossed. We are family today, and I cannot thank you enough for that. So again, anyone else out there, just leave a comment or follow me, and everyone else has now got the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.